Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW Dark Elevation review for the 28th of January, or I'm sorry, June. Yeah, jumping all the way to January 2022 over here. June of 2021. And as I say almost all the time with these shows, good stuff on here, but there's too much of it. And also, there's stuff that doesn't belong. Which of these things is not like the other? 13 matches is too long, but they're shorter than they used to be. Gun Club, Billy and Colton defeating the wingman of Ryan Nemeth and JD Drake. And Colton does some basic babyface fire stuff during the early parts of the match. Completely useless goofiness from the wingman. I don't think this belongs on a national product. Not the talent. I like Nemeth and I like Drake. You can get rid of Avalon and no one would care. Gun Club wins with a famouser, and obviously from Billy Gunn. Match runs about 3 minutes, and Colton has not had a loss under any circumstances here in AEW thus far. Maybe they're going to do something with him, or maybe they're just pushing him because he's the son of one of the agents. Who knows? Penelope Ford, Valentina Rossi. Not a fan of Penelope Ford. I don't understand the draw. Short match, though. That's good. Rossi gains a little momentum. Ford cuts her off and hits a gutbuster, winning the match, and she is 7-1 on the year. Brian Cage with Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook, defeating Serpentico with Luther. Cage uses his size, Serpentico uses, I guess you'd say, his speed. And obviously dominates the majority of the match. Luther comes in on a few occasions, but that doesn't really turn things for more than a couple of seconds. Serpentico uses his head as a weapon, and or using Luther's head as a weapon, as they normally do the other way around. Cage wins with a drill claw, 23-2, and after the match, Hobbs and the Hook fist bump with Cage, but there still remains tension. Why they haven't broken this off yet, I have no idea. Karl Anderson with the Young Bucks and Doc Gallows defeats Wheeler Yuta. Yuta is the independent wrestling champion for IWTV, and also he's in Japan. He has worked both Chikara and ROH as well. Lots of, cutoffs and basic heel stuff from the Elite. Anderson takes control early. Yuta shows a good bit of babyface fire. I wouldn't have had him debut in this way. He wins the crowd over. Anderson wins with a stun gun across the top rope. Rock Anderson, not to be related to Carl. Lee Johnson and Dustin Rhodes with Arn Anderson defeats Liam Gray, Aiden Elias, and Justin Carino. Wonder if that's related to Steve Carino. I don't think so. Anyway, Anderson certainly does look like his father, wrestles like it, and obviously needs more experience, but he's doing pretty well here. Match itself is good for Johnson. Johnson bumps all over the place. Nightmare Factory wins with a thrust kick into a bulldog. Acclaimed and Matt Justice and PB Smooth. Peanut Butter Smooth? Don't know. Anyhow, Acclaimed are over. Caster's rap always gets them over and continues to do so. He raps about his opponent being relatively nondescript. Caster and Bowens are certainly a team that has risen above over the pandemic time and continues to do so here. They control the crowd for the majority of time. Match has a bunch of nice double team work. Caster and Bowens hit a neckbreaker combo. It didn't look too great, but everything else from their double team looks decent. Caster's mic drop ends the match, and they're 13-3 on the year. Riho defeats Kylan King. Riho certainly has dropped, although probably a lot of that has to do with the pandemic and maybe the fact that, I don't know, Kenny Omega has not turned out to be the champion a lot of people thought he was going to be. Riho's returned to Elevation since the first episode. The crowd is behind her during the match, and King is showing her heel chops here. King manages to hit a short Samoan drop, and then there's a frog splash, misses. Riho hits the double knee strike for the win. Varsity Blondes with Julia Hart, Jake Logan, and Aaron Rourke. Flying forearm by the Blondes is the highlight of things that give them the win. Really wish they had defeated the Bucks, but then again, in all honesty, the Bucks make me want to change this channel, as does Kenny Omega, and not in a heel heat way, but in a you are full of favoritism and nepotism and politics, just like the clique from the 90s was, but you don't see it kind of way. Anyway, Thunder Rosa defeats Kalina Perez. Rosa and Perez do have a good back and forth exchange. Match is too short. Rosa continues on her run, wins with a Peruvian choke, and it continues to support her well. The Blade with the Bunny defeats Chuck Taylor. Bunny interfered and yells at ringside for the majority of the match. Chuck Taylor and Blade have wrestled before, all the way back to probably about 7 or 8 years ago on the indie scene. Blade and the Bunny outsmart Taylor, and they pick up the win, basically doing heel-related things. Post-match, TH2 appeared and attacked Taylor. Orange Cassidy makes the save, and obviously this is kind of just kicking off a little bit here. Hardy family office and feuding with TH2 is, well, not my sort of thing, but whatever. Private Party and Matt Hardy defeat Dark Order, Alan Angels, Alex Reynolds, and Colt Cabana. This was better than to be expected, but this is the good part of the Dark Order, and as much as I'm not a fan of Private Party, Matt Hardy kind of put the match together in a way where it's not horrible. Private Party paid tribute to the Hardy Boys because all they are is Hardy ripoffs anyway. Dark Order and Negative One get a huge pop. Negative One probably the reason. Hardy Family Office and Dark Order have been feuding across the YouTube shows for a couple of months now. And it doesn't really seem like the feud's coming to an end. I don't really understand where the blow-off is, but I don't think the booker does either. Private Party pick up a win, Gin and Juice, after Matt Hardy cuts Angels off, and then Hakurashita defeats Riki Takiti. She's okay. Intensity has stepped up in comparison to her performer matches. Shida obviously has the crowd on her side, being the former women's champion, wins after hitting her main finish, and she is the 5th ranked woman in AEW. Penta and Eddie Kingston defeat TH2. Crowd is into this match. I don't understand why, but then I'm not a fan of Penta or TH2, so it's not my thing. Penta does get probably the loudest pop of the show, maybe behind Orange Cassidy. Penta uses a monkey flip to throw Angelico onto Evans. Penta and Kingston win after hitting the half-and-half suplex and the Fear Factor on Evans. They go into the match with the Young Bucks, which is non-title, on Wednesday with a 3-0 record. Overall, some good stuff on the show, some wasted stuff. I don't think I'm the target audience for many of their high-flying talents, but maybe I'm not supposed to be. In any event, shows are getting tighter and easier to get through, and that's a good thing. We'll be back with more after this.